Well, hello, I'm Dr. Julia Royston of BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the Book Business Bosses Book Consulting Services, helping you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and be a book business boss. This is the day that the Lord hath made. We shall rejoice, we shall sing, and we shall be glad in it. I trust that you all are doing extremely well today, blessed no matter where you are in the world, and we'll be moving forward with the remainder of this year. It's coming to a quick close. And I trust that you're moving forward. We're still talking about the year in review. And even before I get into that, if you would like to be in contact with me, go to juliakroyston.com. That's juliaakroyston.com for my contact information, all my online stores, and all that good information to be able to reach out to me and connect with me, especially if you are interested in writing a book or publishing a book, or you've already written and published, and you need some more information. You need some additional help, and you want to take your not only your book but your business to the next level. So reach out to me, juliaakroyston.com. So the year review, last week we were talking about taking inventory, what you got in your hands, what you have. And once you take inventory and you know what you have to next, you have to make a decision. You have to move forward. You have to understand what your assignment is and look at the activities that you've been performing and what already has been coming to your hands and in your grasp. Then you have to make some decisions. So I'm taking this from 1 Kings 13:10. So he went another way and returned not by the way that he came to Bethel. So that's a long assignment. And feel free to read 1 Kings 13, the entire chapter. And Jeroboam was on an assignment and he completed his assignment, but he was led another way. Some of us need to decide to be led another way, to go in a different direction, to do some different things and different activities. Change is difficult for a lot of people, and I understand that, but some things are not working. Some things are not working out as we planned, and some things it's not so much working financially. It may be physically that it's not working. There's too much work for you. You're working harder and not smarter. And I know that I have a not a problem, but I have a habit. I am a workaholic. And so therefore I have to learn how to work smarter rather than harder. I'm being totally transparent. I usually am working 7 days a week, some way, somehow. But the demands from my husband is that I can't work 7 days a week, that I have to slow my pace, get some better boundaries, some limits. I cannot work my body 7 days a week. So therefore, I had to make some decisions. I have to decide. I have to do some things differently, but I had to make a decision. Am I going to die early, as a lot of my family members did, or I'm going to change my ways moving into the next few weeks and months? And I've already made some changes. Some are definitely not known. Some are you don't even see it. A lot of the change has been on my end of how I do business and how my sleep patterns, my wake patterns, my work patterns, my calendar patterns have had to change because I had to make a decision that I wanted to keep living. So you have to decide. Sometimes it's a money issue. Some have to decide how you're going to do differently, head in a different direction with your money. You have to decide how your habits, your spending habits, your work habits, your eating habits, you just have to decide. And you have to just stick with your decision. I have a client that I'm working with right now, and very creative, but she can't seem to narrow it down to get to a decision. And when you can't get to a decision, and make a decision, you'll end up stuck. You'll end up not moving forward at all. And the project that you're supposed to be completing will not be completed. The people that you're supposed to be ministering to, profiting from, monetizing your message to will not get that done either. So you have to decide. Making a decision is so difficult because one, we don't like to mess up. We don't want to make the wrong decision, but we know heading in this same direction is not the right decision to be making. And so you're making a decision whether you want to or not. If you don't want to change, you're still making a decision. Yeah, ouch. I resemble that remark. And you have to decide. And once you decide on a course of action, then you have to move in that direction. Now, some people are like, I've decided, but you haven't moved in that direction. You haven't made headed into a new direction, or you haven't redirected yourself. So I travel a lot. You see, me and my husband, we travel a lot for business. We planned on that before retirement. So we do travel a lot. And I don't know how we did it before GPS, because this is incredible. But, the GPS system, make a U-turn at the next light and go back because you passed it. You didn't, or the GPS didn't do it, or you didn't do it, or something changed. Make a right at the next light. They told you a half a mile, a quarter of a mile. Now is the turn to make the next right. Make the next right here. Don't go past it. It's right here. If you don't see the name of the street, if it's dark, it's right here. So therefore, making that, heading in that direction, getting on 65 South when you intended to go to Chicago from Louisville, you should be going 65 North. I mean, you just got to make a U-turn. You got to get off at the next exit and turn around and go the opposite way. So you have to once you've decided, you've got to head in the right direction. And that's what, the year in review is hard. It's difficult. You got to add up your pennies. You got to look at your calendar, because a lot of it is time. It's time management. What you spend your time doing, what you spend your time activities. And sometimes it's not the kids, and sometimes it's not the husband, and sometimes it's not the job. You waste a lot of time. So sometimes that head in that new direction is like I did the last 2 years I was teaching. I love everybody. I really do. But I'm not going to be eating in the faculty dining room because I have I have somewhere I'm headed. I have a direction, and I'm going to be gone in 2 years. And I promised myself, number one, I promised God, I promised my husband, 55, I was out. So therefore, I had to decide, and I had to do some things differently. And I had to tell people I'm just not excommunicating myself from y'all. Because periodically I would go down and say hi and get some ice or wave or, hi, how y'all doing? But I was on a mission. They knew I was on a mission. I knew I was on a mission. So it redirected my whole activities. It redirected the direction that I was headed, the things that I did, the coaching that I purchased, the classes that I attended, the YouTube videos I watched, and the trainings that I did, the webinars that I stayed up later, got up earlier, was on the Saturdays and Sundays to be with, the meetings that I had on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Vanessa Collins and I, while our families were asleep, we were strategizing, we were planning, we were preparing for where we are now. Now we still have to do it for what's next. This is year 5, so it's time to move forward. So there's just, just some lot of things that you have to decide. This year-end review helps with that. Now, I'm different. I do this on a weekly, monthly, quarterly basis, where I want to be headed next quarter, where I want to be headed next month. I do this all the time. But the year-end review is where the big things happen, where the big sweeping transactions and changes happen. What don't we want to be doing again next year? What do we know we have to consistently do and better for next year? Okay. Then next, you got to develop it. So if you need another class, and I've said it repeatedly, but it always bears repeating. Sometimes you have to learn something different. Sometimes the thing and I know of someone, I don't know how to do that. So It's not that you don't have the mental capacity to do that. You don't want to do that. So you don't want to, oh, I don't know how to do that. Well, then we learn. We take a class. We sit down and we schedule time. Who does that the best? Where can we find that out the best? Is it a simple Google search? Is it a simple 2, 3, 5 minute YouTube video that we can stop and start and replay every time? You got to develop that. And you can, oh, I don't know how to do that. And what does that mean? Or do you need to collect the money and save the money to be able to pay somebody to do that? You either learn it or you pay somebody. It's going to cost you. What it's going to cost you, time and learning time, or is it going to cost you to have that service professionally done? It still costs. I don't care which way you do it. So if that direction that you headed is worth it, it's going to cost you something. And you're going to have to develop it, whether it's in training or stopping some activities, starting some new activities. You got to develop it. You got to streamline it. It may cost you additional something. It may not always be money. It may be time. It may be relationships. It may be meeting new people. It may be going new places. It may be getting on planes, trains, and automobiles. What does it take to develop where you're trying to go? Because one of the things that I just have to remind you, the clock is ticking. Time keeps on slipping. That old song, into the future. It waits for no man. It's not waiting on nobody. God is the only thing that is fluid in time. He's outside of time. He created time. He's eternal. He's beginning and end and the middle are all at the same time. But you're not, baby. You're infinite. There is a limit. That you're finite. You limited. God is the only infinite one. You're limited. You got a border. You got death and life. Choose life. Hello. So develop it. And then finally, have due dates, but make them a little flexible. Now, for those of you who are natural procrastinators, I know you said, yay, see, I knew. No. Meaning major occurrences happen. Death in family, injury, a fire, a tornado. Y'all, oh, I had a hangnail, so I can't do it. Oh, they didn't have fish, so I didn't go down that street, and I couldn't get the coffee I need. Come on now. Those excuses are not major. I'm talking about major life things happen. I've had a few things here recently that involved other people, but I had to be compassionate because they've had death in their family. They've had injury to loved ones. They've had major things happen in their life. It wasn't a hangnail and I can't get that right kind of polish for my fingernails at the salon. No, I'm not talking about that. I am talking about major life happenings. There has to be some flexibility. Not just I couldn't find the, no. Major life happenings, and life does happen, and you have to be flexible. I've had to do it in business. I've had to do it in ministry. I've had to do it in life. Things that always happen the way I wanted it. And the due date I wanted it to happen on. I had to be a little flexible, but I still had due dates and I still pushed it. Because even if I have to be flexible, I have to say, oh, let's see. Do I need a month? Do I need 6 weeks? Do I need 2 months? Is that a second quarter activity? I still put a new due date on it. So even if life happens and I'm kind of at a standstill, in my mind, I still have something I'm working toward. I still have a date that I'm moving toward. I still have a date. Even if I don't write it down on my calendar, I still have something running tape in my mind that says, okay, but I'm going to pick that back up. That's a second quarter activity. It's not, I can't do that first quarter. That's a second quarter activity. That's a third quarter activity. That's something I can get done in the summer. That's something I can do the last 2 weeks of the year while I'm off and other people with family, and woof, I can get that done then. Decide direction or redirection. Develop and have flexible due dates. We're in our year-end review, and I hope that's been helpful to you to start thinking about your life. Now, living my best life, Julia Ann Kay's Royston's best life is not the same as yours. And me living your best life wouldn't work for me. But I want you to live the life you're designed to live. What do you have on your list? What goals do you have? What things do you have in your mind you'd like to accomplish and get done and fulfill before Jesus comes, or before you pass on, or before your children graduate from college, or after they've gone to school? Where do you have, a goal? Do you have a goal? Think about it. And sometimes you will have to go another way. Sometimes you will have to either go back to plan A because plan B didn't work, or plan A is not working. You got to go back to plan B, or just develop a plan C. But realize living your best life, it'll mean something from me, different from me to you. But be sure and live yours, what that looks like. We're in the year-end review. Decide. Get a direction. You may have to develop things. Go to school, take a class, visit a webinar, buy a book, whether it's in person or virtual, and decide today, I want to live my best life. Speaking of living your best life, tune in to Live Your Best Life with me, your host, on envision-radio.com. You can always download our free Android app. Go to Google Play Store and download the app right there. It's free. iTunes, I don't know when, but the Android world is the best. Yay! No, I'm joking. But download the free Envision Radio Android app from the Google Play Store, or you can listen just directly from the website. Those are the top two ways that I highly suggest. Go to envision-radio.com and just press play and just listen 24/7 for all kinds of wonderful information and shows. And then also listen for phenomenal music. It is awesome. Or go to radio.net, radio.garden, Alexa, Get Me Radio, Roku, MediaU, MyTuner Radio, Audacity, tuner.co. Woo! All kinds of ways to listen to envision-radio.com. And Live Your Best Life is Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then coming up at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Spike Davis and Friends show. Tune in for laughs, music, and more, and some phenomenal guests. And then on Tuesdays, somebody say Tuesdays, at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Book Business Boss show, where we're helping you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and be a book business boss. The replays are at the Book Business Boss Podcast.com. Also heard on envision-radio.com and on Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Coming up. And as I say, by the way of announcements, we are still doing holiday giveaways. If you'd like to support BK Royston Foundation in any way, shape, or form to give away books, backpacks, and school supplies, go to bkroystonfoundation.org. That's bkroystonfoundation.org. We are a 501c3 company. Push the donate button and get it done right there. And any amount of your donation is highly appreciated. Coming up on December 3rd, I'll be, Lord willing, in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Black Child Book Fair Tour. We'll be at the Movement School, Eastland, 5249 Central Avenue, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm trying to end. I am doing my best to end the year strong. Then December 10th, we'll be at the Mobile Book Expo in Mobile, Alabama. Central Art Collective, 1260 Dolphin Street, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then last event of the year of 2022, December 17th through the 18th, will be at the Black Women Expo at the Georgia International Convention Center, the GICC, in Atlanta, Georgia. We'll be at booth 516. Please come see the Book Business Bosses at booth 516. I'll be there along with Ms. Marlene C. DeRosso and Dr. Vernette Nettles. Super excited to greet you at the Black Woman Expo, December 17th and 18th. I think it's usually 10 to 7 each on Saturday and probably 11 to 6 on Sunday. Come to booth 516. More to come from that a little bit later on. We'll be going live probably that week to invite everyone in the Atlanta area. If you're not in the Atlanta area, you can always reach out to us to any purchase or support any of our books. But if you have family members down south in Georgia and hot Atlanta, please send them over. Tell them to come check us out at booth 516 at the Black Woman Expo in Atlanta, Georgia. So super excited about that. I'm Dr. Julia Royston. Be sure to remember JuliaAKRoyston.com is where all my contact information is. And reach out to me, connect with me, talkwithroyston.com if you are ready to publish and you got your book finished, or it's still in your idea, in your head stage. So reach out to us, talkwithroyston.com, and let's have a conversation about your book before the year ends. Yep, before the year ends. I'm Julia Royston. Be blessed and have an awesome rest of the week. Bye-bye.